Get ready for some shocking truths about learning guitar at age 55 or better. There's valid reasons that people over 55 never learn guitar. And if you gave up guitar, surely it was for a good reason. I've been there myself. Having been a master certified guitar instructor for over 3 decades and having taught over 1,000 private students, I've decided it's time for me to share the 10 most common reasons why guys over 55 don't start playing the guitar. Afterwards, I'm going to give you my opinion on the subject, and it may even involve you. Here are the top 10 reasons why people over 55 have told me they shouldn't learn guitar. Family and friends are going to think that I'm silly and they're going to judge me for this. It's not a good time to start now, I'm just too busy. I see guys that are so good and I could never play like that. And I don't have time to practice. I tried before and I quit because I wasn't making any progress. It's just too expensive. I don't have any musical talent. My fingers hurt and my hands aren't strong enough. It's too confusing and I don't know how to start or where to start. I'm too old for this. This is for younger people. Okay, let's start with number 10. Your family and friends just very well might judge you. Well, for one thing, you don't have to tell them. If you've got somebody who's negative or toxic in your life, maybe you should, think about, hey, I don't even want to hang around this person. I'm not going to listen to them because they're negative. So don't let that affect your decision. Chances are, though, most of your family and friends are going to be real happy for you, especially after they understand that you enjoy it so much. And you will enjoy it so much whenever you're playing and some songs and you're improving. You're stacking some skills. It's going to become easier to play these songs because your motor skills are getting a little bit better. Personally, some of my most enjoyable moments were in playing musical instruments over all these years has been playing by myself in my bedroom. I remember the first time that I played Marty Robbins, the town El Paso, and I knew that song by heart. I could sing it, I could play it, strum the chords, and I thought I just absolutely mastered the guitar whenever I could play that. So other times I've, been in a good mood or a bad mood, and I just lock myself away in the room, and hours, melt on by, and I just feel so happy that, afterwards, even though nobody has to be there. So you don't have to play in front of people. You might enjoy it. So don't let that be a problem. Number 9 is, it's a bad time to start. I'm just too busy. I got so much things going on. I got grandkids or kids coming over, and I'm still working. I've got a job. You're going to always have that. You can make that same case at any point in your life that you're too busy, and you are too busy, but you've got to make priorities. You got to make you got to make time in your life for some fun and for some creative outlet. So even if it is a bad time, my recommendation is to go out right now, put a pause on the video and go buy a guitar. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So sometimes it's just best to just jump in and start, because it really is fun. The next one is, gosh, I just don't have any time to practice. Well, I personally don't even set a practice time. There's some weeks that I play a lot. Other weeks, I've really got things going on, and the truck's broke down. You got things that pop up just right and left. But a lot of times I play my best early in the morning when I first get up. I might wake up early at 5 a.m. Just can't sleep, and that's when I play. I play whenever I feel like it. The main goal that I would give everybody starting off is to reach 100 hours of concerted practice time. That means not just going and, just doing this, that, and the other. Maybe just learn the pentatonic scale and play that for an hour. I'm talking about, doing a course of study, which I will be visiting with you about also. But whenever you reach 100 hours, you're going to be better than 90% of all the guitar players in the world. So you can get there in 2 months, or you can get there in 7 years, or you can never get there. But if you get to 100 hours, even if you don't think you have talent, you're going to be a pretty good guitar player. If not, you should be an intermediate by then, 100 hours. So there's that 100-hour rule. Remember that. And if you get frustrated on practicing, don't just walk away from it for good. Just come back the next day. I've found myself struggling sometimes, like I got a concert coming up and, I'm frustrated. I got, it's 2 days before the concert and your guitar, you found a problem with it. It won't stay in tune, or you gotta, there's all sorts of things. You get frustrated. So, what I do is I try again the next day. And if I'm working on a passage, I'm struggling, a lot of times I'll wake up in the morning and boom, I can play it. Like it's, not like it's nothing, but I can play it right. What I was trying to do the day before that I just couldn't do, and I was so frustrated. So, be smart about your practice time. The next thing that people often that scare them off from guitar is like hearing somebody who's really good and saying, "Oh man, I could never be like him. He's just so good, and I can barely even play a chord." And well, I'll tell you a couple things about some of these guys that you see on the internet and everything. What you're seeing a lot of times is recorded, and it's heavily edited and patched together. So, they may have been working on one part of that song, 15 seconds, 10 seconds, for 2 hours. They might have played it 50 times and patched it over, and it looks perfect. Like, oh, this guy's a genius. Look how he can just play all this. Well, that's not really the way it works. I do it myself. I screw up something and make a mistake, or thinking about the wrong thing and get off. My timing's a little off. I just re-record it and do it over and over until I get it the way it sounds good. So, don't let some of these guys scare you off. It's like, just what you need to worry about is you, not somebody else. Just learn one thing at a time. Okay, the next reason for not learning guitar for people 50 and over, or you did try once and it just didn't work out. You didn't get any better. First off, I'd like to say that I'm sorry that happened to you. Chances are you just got learning things out of order. That the best thing to do is to get your hands on a guitar and start playing. And don't sit there and worry about equipment, and don't worry about all these different methods, but I don't want to get off on a tangent here. This is not rocket science, okay? You don't have to have a method, a certain method. Just listen to Space Age Jim. I do hope you subscribe. Yeah, I love my subscribers. I answer their questions every day. First thing in the morning, I get up and I can't wait to see what they have to say. And I love answering them, and I just love guitar players. I've been one since I was 9 years old. Okay, you might say it's too expensive. Well, don't look around my studio, and you don't want to see what's in my closets, because over the years, I've got a lot of complicated, guitars and pedals and gizmos, and most of that stuff I never really needed to begin with, but I've justified it by saying, oh, I had to perform and do this and that. But most of my time is honestly spent on that Larrivee, that wooden Larrivee. But I do play them all, and I love them all. But you can also get started for $150. When I was teaching at Guitar Center, I'd go and look over the inventory, and I'd play them all, tune them up, see how they sounded. I was a master instructor over there, so some of them were pretty darn good. They sounded fine. You can get a decent guitar for under $200, and the only other thing you really need starting off is a metronome. You need two things. Well, I guess a tuner, which you can get all that online. You can get a metronome online. The best ones are just apps from a phone. So all you need is a guitar and a metronome tuner. So there's not really much to get into it. Now, you can buy a $14,000 Loudon, which is, please listen to me, Loudon. I want sponsor me. I want to play your guitars. I love them. But I love my Larrivee too, and I love some other guitars. So the next question is, Space Age Jim, I just don't have any musical talent. Well, how will you know if you don't get out there and play? And talent helps, but practice helps more. So also, I hate to give you a bunch of cliches, but it's a cinch by the inch, but hard by the yard. In other words, if you break it, we're going to break it down. Break guitar down to where you're just learning a little bit here and a little bit there, and you're going to stack it all together. And if you do it in order, you're going to be an amazing guitar player. The key to being a good guitar player is to reach that magic 100 hours of concerted practice time. That's my 90% rule, is that you're going to be, if you reach 100 hours of concerted practice time, not just playing scales and, but actually you're doing things that matter, working on your fine motor skills, learning chords, a few scales, and playing some songs and that type of thing in logical order, you're going to be a pretty good guitar player. And you're going to stack those skills. You get better and better. You're going to add more things to it. And before you know it, you're going to be playing like a pro. So it's very important to learn things in order and to not get overwhelmed by jumping from one thing to the other. I did this myself. I'm the worst person in the world to tell somebody, because I've done it all. But I also learn from my mistakes, and I want you to learn from my mistakes too. My fingers hurt. My hands are too weak. Well, you're going to get calluses on your hands, on your fingertips. And it's just like when you were walking barefoot when you were a kid, you could walk all the day across the street, asphalt and whatever, didn't hurt your feet because you were used to it. So the same thing with your finger. You're going to build calluses on them, get little grooves in them, and everything will get easier. It's confusing, and I don't know where to start. Yeah, these new methods, or don't beat the old methods. You're going to have to learn a few little things first. You're going to have to learn a few chords. You're going to have to go from one chord to the next. You need to learn a few scales. You need to learn some hammer-ons, some pull-offs, and just things that I teach you every day. My course is geared towards the beginners right now. I mean, you can't go wrong by following me. I don't charge anything for my course. I don't have any materials for you. I've taught at big box stores, Guitar Center, and was a master instructor there, as I said earlier. But that's like $65 an hour, and you're getting the same lesson I give, to all my students. These are the same lessons. So, why not just watch me do it, and you can watch it again and again. So, subscribe and be a friend of the channel. I want you to learn the right way. There's no real big shortcuts, and it's not rocket science. So it comes to the last and the most key point is I'm just too old. The most fun I ever had was like learning those first songs, and the time I felt like I finally learned how to do bar chords. And I made a lot of mistakes on my playing career, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made. You're not too old to start guitar. I don't care if you're 75, 80, whatever age, it doesn't really matter. There's guitar groups that you can join. You can maybe play at your church. You can play at the park. You can play with your friends. You can play by yourself. You can play those songs that you love. And you only really need to know 4 or 5 chords to play hundreds of songs. And you'll find this on my channel. I go through my playlist and find things that you like. And if you subscribe and notify, you'll see all the new videos coming out. I got my technology issues finally figured out, so there's going to be a lot more content coming at you a lot quicker. I hope that you start guitar, and I hope you start it right now.